Welcome, everyone. This is the 10-week Guide My Wellness. It's the beta course, so thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for volunteering. Just as an FYI, it is not going to be the entire course, but it is going to give you enough information that you can keep going with your wellness journey. So this week is week 1, and instead of getting right into learning, what I really wanted to do is I wanted to give you a little bit of a welcome and a little bit of an introduction. I am your host, Laura Lake, and just so you know, you can find me on YouTube, on Periscope, on Twitter, and of course on Facebook. So why have you joined us today? Well, there are a good many reasons that you could have joined us today, but I just wanted to list a few here. Maybe this is the very beginning of your wellness journey. Maybe you're one of those people that love to look online for all sorts of different health information, or in books, or on the radio, or through your friends. But it's a lot of information, and a lot of us get caught up in what's called information overload. So I totally get it. Maybe you're one of those people that have already started your wellness journey, but you've hit a few bumps in the road and you just need something to get you back on track. Maybe you're going to the gym a bunch of times a week. Maybe you're seeing a personal trainer. Maybe you've got a nutritionist. Maybe you have none of those things, but at least you're doing something to try to make an effort to create change, but those efforts are just not working. Or maybe you just love to learn and you're here to learn more. Well, that's great. We're going to learn a lot, and let's do it together. So who am I? Well, as I've said, my name is Laura Lake, but who is Laura Lake? So I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm also an entrepreneur, and I love the outdoors, as you can see by my crazy picture. That is my daughter's first camping trip, and she absolutely loved it. And as an entrepreneur, I am a building designer, I'm a wellness coach, and I'm a speaker. In December of 2015, I actually joined Beachbody. I've been following them for years, and I love their products so much, and their products have changed my life that I became a Beachbody coach. So what is my story? My story starts way back in high school, where I didn't learn very much about diet and exercise and all of what industry tells you. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't quite understand exercise. I knew I had to move, but that's about it. So going into university, there was very little exercise. There was very poor eating habits. Like chocolate bars for lunch because they were 33 cents and you're a poor college student. Yeah, so instead of the freshman 15, I gained the freshman 30. Fun. Okay. So then a few years later, I got married to my longtime boyfriend. And for the wedding, what do we want to do? We want to lose the weight. So I lost most of the weight for my wedding. But shortly after I got married, I got pregnant. And what do they tell you to do during pregnancy? Well, you should keep moving. So I kept moving. But then things happen where you can't move as much, you pull muscles, you get too big, all of that fun stuff. And everybody tries to feed you every single cookie in sight. So during my pregnancy, I gained 50 pounds and was at my heaviest weight ever. I felt disgusted with myself. So after the pregnancy, I knew I needed to learn to cook because I still didn't know how to do that. I could burn a hot dog. I needed to learn how to exercise, and I was breastfeeding my daughter at the same time, and she refused to take naps. So I would walk for like 4 hours a day from my house to the mall, and then we'd walk around the mall and then back, and I would do P90X, and I would do Turbo Jam, whatever I could find. And none of that was working. I lost maybe 10 pounds. So then I really started to dig in. Well, what is it that I need to learn? What am I not doing properly? So I spent so much time learning how it is that my body works. I have horrible genetics. I'm actually the smallest one, or one of the smallest people in my family. And genetics are completely against me, except for building muscle. So I took all of that in stride and I go, okay, what do I need to do? Learn all this stuff? Sure. Then I start losing weight. I'm exercising and I'm dieting and I'm sleeping and I've got all this stuff going really well. And all of a sudden, when I'm almost back at my high school weight, I'm in a bicycle accident. During that bicycle accident, I'm not going to get into details, but basically I hit a telephone pole. And I was told if I was any other person, I would have died. So that was a huge hit to my health and my progress and my mental health. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, and from that comes insomnia, anxiety, depression, and all of those in turn make you gain weight and gain body fat, like not even the good kind of weight. So what I wanted to point out was that we can learn from our failures, and I do classify the bicycle accident as a failure. But it's one of the best things that has ever happened to me because I have learned to change my mindset. I have learned new life skills, and I've learned to seize these opportunities in these failures because there is something to learn. As I was gaining weight, I thought, I'll do what I did before. I'll go to the gym, I'll eat right, I'll make sure I go to bed on time. But I was in the gym 5 days a week. I was eating an almost paleo diet. There's still a little bit of bread and stuff in there. But there was no inches or pounds lost. I got stronger. So what was I doing wrong? Well, I've spent the last 13 years, so since, 2003, and over 6,000 hours learning specifically all about health and how it relates to my body and my family and my friends. So I started coaching online with my family and friends. And I've developed what I call the bed mass of wellness. So here in my pictures, the first set of pictures is the day I left the hospital, which was 10 days after having my daughter. And then the second picture beside it is 3 months after my bicycle accident. So I had gained a little bit of weight, but I could walk again. And the second set of pictures is in January 2016, where I decided that I would show people what this bed mass of wellness does. So in January, that's my before picture. And then as of September, that's the after picture. Now the journey still continues. The journey will always continue. But that's just where I was in September. So how are we going to accomplish this 10-week Guide My Wellness course together? Well, I have laid out 10 different milestones, which we're going to do over the 10 weeks. I've set it up through video learning, which is what you're doing right now, and you can watch it as many times as you need, because there are going to be things that you might have missed the first time, or you just need to hear over again. Maybe you want to take notes. So it's great. You can just keep watching it over and over. Then I've incorporated worksheets. And what we're going to do in these videos is work through those worksheets together. I want you to do the work while you're spending time with me. And if you don't have time, you've got time later. But I want you to do the worksheets because the worksheets will get more specific to you, and then you can learn what works for you. The last thing I have on the list is live Q&As. So that is probably going to be done on Facebook Live. I might put a few extra questions on Periscope. We'll have to see. And these live Q&As are just to get clarification or get personal with your worksheets. So you go through the questions, you see something that might not be worded the way you're used to, or maybe you're a little confused, or you have a unique situation. These are perfect times to just say, hey, Here's my question specific to me, or here's a general question. And the more you put into these, the more you're going to get out of them. So what are the 10 milestones? Number 1, this is the introduction. It's so easy. Welcome. Introduction and an overview of what's to come. And that's exactly what we're doing right now, is I'm telling you what to expect. Number 2, we're going to learn the BEDMAS of Wellness formula, what it is and how it works. Piquing your interest. Okay, so number 3, how to document your results. That's a great one. There are so many ways that people like to document the results, and the biggest one is your weight. So we're going to go over what I call my wellness wheel and other types of recording tools to measure the results that are specific for your journey. Milestones continued. Number 4, we're going to set up routines. Okay, you're going to set up routines for your sleep and rest, for both your mind and your body. Number 5 is you're going to identify some of your emotions. That'll be a fun one. I have to find a really good chart of like emojis or something to show you all the different emotions. And we're going to use these through mindfulness to identify and allow your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Number 6, determine your priorities. This is also a wonderful one. A lot of people like to look for motivational quotes, motivational pictures, but I love to talk about the difference between inspiration versus motivation and how using your intrinsic priorities can get you moving and more focused. Number 7, fuel your body. This is where we start talking about diet and nutrition. So eating to support your body's needs and knowing the impact that food has. We're all individuals, and just because I can't eat dairy and I can't eat tomatoes doesn't mean that you can't. So this is, again, a very individual thing. Number 8, make movement a habit. We talk about exercise, but how often do people talk about movement and activity? So we're going to create an exercise, an activity plan that you can use throughout your day. Number 9, analyze your space. This is my other specialty with the building design. So we're going to talk about functional, comfortable spaces that make you feel safe, that make you feel like you want to be there and have the feelings and the experiences that you want to have. Number 10, plan your path. So once we learn all of that information, at the end, people tend to sometimes feel lost. So what I'm going to do with Plan Your Path is we're going to keep the information going. I'm going to give you references, maybe some more topics that you might be interested, and then I'll create future courses in those topics and in those resources so that you can keep going with your path. Support and accountability. These are 2 huge areas that I want you to pay attention to. So everybody that goes through any sort of transformation or any sort of change requires support, whether it's family or friends or Facebook or something. So I've created what I call just a Facebook event. It's supposed to be private. I'm not sure if it is. And we're going to use that for discussion. We're going to get to know each other a little bit. We're going to have questions and answers amongst yourselves as well as me. It's going to be a little networking in there. And hopefully you feel comfortable enough to share your progress and your goals with the other people in the group. And then the second part of this is your worksheets. So as we go through these videos, we're going to have worksheets. And I want you to answer the questions at the end when we do them together. And then from the answers on the worksheet and the outcomes and expectations, you can plan your next week. I have 5 tips for you about support and accountability. So number 1, find a buddy on the same journey. It could be anybody. Maybe it's somebody you've never met on Facebook. Maybe it's somebody in our Facebook event. Maybe it's, I don't know, your next door neighbor. Number 2, connect with your buddy outside of this course. Or I'd prefer you to. So if you've met somewhere on the Facebook event page, I would love for you to send private messages. Or maybe you become Facebook friends. Or maybe you become Twitter buddies. I don't know. Just make sure that you connect with people outside of this course. Number 3, share your goals and plan with your buddy. So if you keep your goals and plans to yourself, it's like picking a number from 1 to 10, but not telling anybody what it is. You could change that number at any time, just like you can change your goals and plan at any time. So if you share it with somebody, you're now accountable to that person to make good on what you've said. Number 4, tell your buddy both your successes and your failures. The best way for people to learn is through failure, because failure means that you didn't understand something or you didn't do something properly. So that right there is the opportunity to learn those new skills or to learn something that would make you succeed next time. When you've succeeded, how do you know really if you understand it fully? Maybe you were lucky, I don't know, but share both. There's inspiration in both. Number 5, learn from each other and adapt to each new experience. So again, with the successes and failures and sharing your goals and plans with your buddies. Anytime you share your experiences, I could have an aha moment or that puzzle piece that just clicks in my mind. And it could be something so small to you, but means something so big to me. So I want you to talk amongst each other and I want you to learn from each other, because then my experience has changed and I grow as a person as well. Next is the worksheet review. In week 1, I'm going to show you different outcomes and expectations. And if you look on the sheet off to the right, you can see that there's a list of 4 different items and there's a little checkbox beside each one. The first thing I want you to do on these worksheets is to make sure that you've done all of those outcomes and all of those expectations. Number 2, questions. This is where you can print and write or keep a digital copy of your answers. So you can either print off this piece of paper and you can write in pen or pencil if that's how you remember things, or you can keep a journal off to the side and not print off the piece of paper, or you could just keep a digital copy right on the PDF. Number 3, next week, and at the bottom of the sheet, it says next week what we're going to cover. So next week we're going to cover the bed mass of wellness formula, which I know you guys will love. And number 4, I actually have a weekly quote. So this week's quote is from Doug, I hope I'm saying this right, Firebow. Every day, do something different that will inch you closer to a better tomorrow. And I want each quote to reflect what we've done that week. So basically this week's quote is telling you that all these small changes that we're going to be doing will equate to a bigger result. So just keep doing stuff that brings you more, that brings you closer to your goal. So just keep doing stuff that brings you closer to your goal. So we're actually going to go through the questions now. So question number 1, what's your name and where are you from? See, I told you. Question number 1, what's your name and where are you from? See, I told you guys this would be easy. It's an introduction session, so I just want to get to know you. So I'm going to give you my answers as we go through. So I'm Laura Lake, and I'm from Pictou County, Nova Scotia, Canada. Number 2, why did you join us? This is, again, looking back to one of the first slides that I showed you, and that first checkbox on your sheet. So why did you join us? Be a little more specific here. So not just, I've started my wellness journey, but for instance, I said to teach and help you. I want people to learn from my mistakes and share in my successes. So we've talked about sharing our failures and our successes with people so that they can get their own aha moments. And that's why I'm here. Number 3, how did you hear about this 10-week course? This question is mostly for me, as you can tell, but it does help you guys a little bit as well. So I put this course together to help you, and I want to learn things and grow together, just as you do, and as a community. I'm going a little fast, but that's okay. I want to keep the video short, and you can pause the video as you go. So number 4, how do you plan on practicing what you've learned today? And this is key. If you practice what it is you've learned, then you retain more. And I've said the best way to learn something is to test and teach it. I live what I teach and I learn as I go. And that's so true, as you can see in my results photos. This is something I do every day. It's something I'm passionate about. And I want you guys to be passionate about yourselves as well. Number 5, what info do you feel you need to move forward in your wellness journey? Personally, I need feedback so that I can be of more value to you guys. And of course, cough, cough, referrals so that I can help those that you and I care about. Question number 6, what do you hope to get out of this course? That question could take a little bit longer, but that's okay. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So to me, I get to learn new tools. I get to know you guys, and I can help you on your own wellness journey. And I can help you be your own wellness detective. These are some of the words that I like to use in my coaching packages, where we talk about being a detective, following the Yellow Brick Road, and basically, I am there to guide you. I'm not there to hold your hand and take you with me, but I'm there to teach you how to do it yourself. Number 7, my biggest wellness challenge is what? Well, my biggest challenge is my mental health. As you might remember from my story, I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, and some of its after effects are things like anxiety, depression, and insomnia. Number 8, my big health goal is what? Well, my big health goal is to avoid that genetic predisposition and be a strong, confident, and healthy entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is hard enough, but being an entrepreneur also means that I need to take care of myself first, because without me, there is no business. Number 9, my favorite way to stay healthy is, this could be anything. So mine is I like to go hiking with my family. I like practicing mindfulness, which I do in Periscope on Mondays. I love to cuddle, as long as I've met you at least once and feel comfortable with you. And I love to chat with friends and family. I'm a Beachbody coach, so of course I like to promote Beachbody products. I'm also absolutely in love with them. So Pio is my favorite workout right now, mostly because of the mind-body connection and the chocolate vegan Shakeology. Oh my God, I'm lactose intolerant and it tastes like chocolate. And I'm not allergic to it, so it's awesome. Number 10, one thing people might not know about me is, this is a juicy one. Give you guys a second. I call myself an entrepreneur for a reason. I'm a total gamer chick who loves D&D, or Dungeons and Dragons, all sorts of nerdy board games, and math and science. Physics was one of my favorite courses in high school, and dance, of course. Some of the pictures that I have online and in networking events, you'll see me wearing my D20 earrings, or a 20-sided dice, which I actually got from HellCon a few years ago. I love them so much. I wear them everywhere. So here's the end. If you have any questions, let me know on our Facebook event page or on any of my social media, of course. What I want you to do now is I want you to take it all in. What did we talk about? I want you to plan your week. So what is it that you've taken away from what we've talked about so far? And how can you change your week to move you forward to your goals? I want you to join the Facebook event. If you haven't already, go back to your inbox, find that link to the Facebook event, and click on it and ask to join. That way you can get all of this information, the live Q&As, as well as talking with other people taking this course. And as always, see you at the Q&A. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again.